Tonight on 60 Minutes, two candidates, the anti-candidates if you will, sit down with us exclusively to discuss their campaign. I wouldn't call it absurd or bizarre. The word interesting perhaps comes to mind, but we'll let you, the American people, decide. Up next on 60 Minutes.
The story will continue in a moment.
Tonight, my guest is Rowdy Walker, running for the President of the United States of America.
Not necessarily running, because I'm sitting down.
But Mr. Walker's not alone in this race. Art Vandelay, founder and CEO of Vandelay Industry, is also running for the President of the United States. Mr. Vandelay, the American people would like to know why you haven't released the private records of your overseas business ventures.
Well, Bill, it's quite simple. I believe in the Bible. And I believe it's the book of Proverbs that says, what happens in your overseas business ventures stays in your overseas business ventures.
Actually, that's a adaptation of the colloquial phrase, what happens in Vegas stays in Vegas. That's not in the Bible.
Are you sure?
You haven't declared a running mate yet.
Mm-hmm.
Why?
Mm-hmm. Good question, Bill.
Thank you.
Good question. It's a good question for the Americans as well, to be asking me. When people normally choose candidates, I'll be quick with my words here. When people normally choose candidates, they go out and, hey, what's his economic policy? What's his foreign policy? Let's see how close we can match up. But when I decide, I try and find a ring to somebody's name. Rowdy Walker and Chuck. That doesn't have a good ring, so I'm not going to pick somebody named Chuck.
Mr. Vandelay, over here. Next question.
Yes.
We did some research and found that you have no history of running or serving in public office.
Well, Bill, that would be ridiculous. Who puts their office out in public?
The story will continue in a moment.
The American people would love to know, what is it about Rowdy Walker that they should be convinced is worth putting in the presidential office?
Let me stop you right there.
You have not declared a running mate for this campaign. Why?
Well, Bill, I don't like to run. As you could probably tell, I'm a big fan of the Sweeties.
Yeah.
Yeah.
How do you feel about the fact that a third party has never won a single vote in the Electoral College in the history of the United States of America?
Electoral College, third party. Now that's statistics off the internet, if I'm not mistaken.
No, it's a part of our legislative system.
Legislative.
It's become widely known what happened on that infamous night during the musical Rochelle, Rochelle. You began dropping lights on the cast and crew of the musical. Can you at all explain what was going on in your psyche that evening?
Well, let me just tell you. There are no words to express the deep pain that I felt over that evening.
All it is to me is a straight numbers game. 2 plus 2, 4. 6 plus 6, 12.
Mr. Vandelay, the election will be over in less than 2 weeks. What are your plans for the weekend?
Bill, I'd really rather not answer that question.
Any particular reason?
Bill, that's a private matter, and I would appreciate it if you don't press me on it.
Fair enough. I can see it's a sensitive...
You know what, Bill? I believe this interview is over.